no one has really ever told you the truth. You're a terrible singer. And that's 8-bit for you. I'm Jeremy, and with me are two men who did get on stage, but no one had the backbone to tell them how much they sucked.
That's right, Doug.
You should have fucking told me. I'm Kevin. That could have saved me years and years of keep trying that shit.
No,
But hey, as we're coming in though, Nezark Sins also followed and subscribed using Prime. Welcome to the party. And that's what we do for our new subs.
Most says I'm sneaking this show at work. You're a naughty boy. You're a naughty boy.
Very naughty. Very naughty. I'm back. I went on vacation last week. You guys did a show without me.
Yeah, we fucking did.
It was the strongest numbers that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So right. It tells me that I gotta go.
We had a cameo. Little J.J. Abrams showed up. You know, no biggie.
I just called in a favor. Big James Cameron came over and talked about the new Terminator movie.
Yeah, we're close, so I call him JJ, but like JAY. So it's cool.
Oh, for J.J. Abrams, yeah.
Yes.
He talked about Star Wars?
Of course.
That's all we talked about.
That's all.
What did he say, though?
I can't tell you. You have to go listen to the show.
Yeah. You got to listen to the show. It's Patreon exclusive, except to everybody.
Yeah. I took the kiddo and the wifey. We went ride and we rode ski-doos or water snowmobiles, down the Colorado River.
Water snowmobiles.
I like the dance on the water snow.
That's stupid.
We're going. So we were. Ashley started off driving, and she got really nervous, and she didn't like it. So she was like, "Jeremy, I want you to drive. This is too scary for me." And I went, "Okay, that's no problem." The problem was that she didn't get up to a speed fast enough to where we were gliding over the water. It was more like we were just like dipping in and out of the water, and it was like we were going left and right, and it was rough. I'll tell you that. So she pulled over. We got out, and we played some football in the water and stuff. The whole family threw around, had some fun. We got back on, and I was confident. I've driven boats before. I've been on the waves. I've had my time or two around. Here's the fun thing. In a boat, you take waves at an angle, so you cut through them, right? You don't take them head on because that can make your boat go. So you do an angle. So in my mind, I was like, all right, so let's use the same logic with waves on a ski-doo, or sea-doo, whatever the hell you want to call it. And that was wrong. So you have to hit those head on in order to cut through them on one of those. Somebody's going to message me and be like, Jeremy, actually, that's incorrect too. I'm an expert. I'm going to let you know.
It's a Randall Savage, a water ski expert.
So I was going 45 and I hit a wave and we went airborne. And
did you start singing, I will show you the world?
I was like, I personally was yelling and having fun. I was like, oh yeah. And then all of a sudden I didn't hear screaming anymore. It was more like when Marky jumps out of the window, all I heard was,
ah! You lost her.
That was her. It was her hitting the water.
Oh no!
She hit the water at 45 miles an hour, and she was in pain.
I bet. Oh god, she had a vest on though, right?
Yeah. So, but she was floating, but she could have been dead. I don't know. I got over to her, and I was like, "Oh, hey, you okay?" And she goes, "No, I'm in pain." She hit her butt and back with the water, and so she wasn't happy with me. And then she tried to get back on, and it almost tipped over because we had chairs on the back of it, and they were being, and so you couldn't use the back to get on where you normally would, so you had to climb up the side of it. Well, in order to climb up the side of it, the whole thing's tipping, and I'm like, oh God, I'm going over. So I tried to stabilize and go the other way. She let go. Anyways, it was a huge ordeal. She finally gets back on. We're driving down. We're having a good time, and the river is nice and smooth. It's good sailing, good riding, whatever. And then we get to the lake, and the lake is choppy, windy, waves. I was not having fun. It was a mess. I was going like 20 miles an hour because I was like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die here. I'm in the middle of a lake. There's no one's going to come save me because her dad's just like, oh, bye. Like when she fell off and I had to turn around, he continued on. He was just like, whatever, they'll find their way. And I was like, cool, my son's with you. Have fun.
Colin's like, peace out, bitches.
Yeah. He got to drive.
Yeah.
And he opened it up and went 60 miles an hour.
Too fast.
Shit.
Too fast, too furious.
Too furious. Damn it.
He had such a smile on his face. But that's the day I realized that I am not a person who would want to own Sea-Doos. I'm more of a pontoon boat kind of guy if I were to ever buy a boat. Like I want to relax, maybe have a Sammy, some chips, and listen to some music while I'm cruising across the water.
Put on some Credence and just chill.
No, just some Creed. Yeah, you got it right.
Creed. Can you take me higher?
Hey, house, I do hell.
Jeremy's on the front of his boat doing like the crucifix, like
Take
just
me
arms
to
wide open.
this place, I will hell. Huh?
I pull out my leather my leather water pants.
Leather
no
water
shirt,
pants.
Yeah.
no shirt, leather water pants,
And your Thor wig.
and my Thor wig.
That's got to happen. We need a photo shoot. Make this happen. I don't care if we even have to green screen it in. We have to make this happen.
But one of the coolest things that we did do was we actually, speaking of Thor, Vegas has this thing called the Avengers Station, and it's one of the hotels there put it together, and it has all the movie props, not all, but it has a lot of movie props and a lot of movie suits and stuff like that from the Marvel franchises. It was really dope. It was really cool. You can go around all the stations were like interactive, and you can try to pull Thor's hammer off the ground, and they've got all these suits from the Iron Man series. And so at the end, I tell you what, though, it was really strange. At the end, they give you a phone, and it's an interactive game where all the people, they get an iPod, and there's an app, and you have to fling your finger, and whoever you are, either Cap's shield comes out, and you hit Ultron with the shield, or Hawkeye, it's an arrow,
Shoot an arrow or something.
Iron Man, pulsar, or whatever. But the graphics and the gameplay that they put together for this was something that I would liken to an early 2000s PC game. It looked and played like shit. And I was like, really, guys? This is what we're putting together for the Marvel experience that I just paid $40 for a person?
Oof.
No.
40 a person.
Oh, for 3 people, it was $130 to go through it.
Oof.
And
There's a word for that. Fuck that.
no, there's also a
No,
word.
that's one word. Fuck that.
Fuck that.
There's also another word for that. Vegas.
That's true.
There was nothing that you could do that wasn't $30 a person.
What
well,
about the Pinball Hall of Fame?
$30 to get in, Kev.
Bullshit.
No, it wasn't. But we did spend $40 in quarters.
well, that's all you had left.
Yeah. That place was dope. That place I highly recommend if you ever go to Vegas is the Pinball Hall of Fame.
Did you remember how many they had? Because I heard something around the lines of like 200.
It could have been, dude. Like there's row after row. There's hold on, let me count. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. There's like 8 or 9 rows going straight down, but then there's also rows on the walls,
Mm-hmm.
on the back walls, and then they've got like end caps of rows as well. So
Wow.
there's a lot. It's a little disorganized, a little dirty. They could definitely use an kind of a fashion touch in there in order to like they have their signs are handwritten with marker that say don't touch or there's one that says like 2/4 wait half a minute to let dry.
Do touch.
And,
Please touch. Touch me, daddy.
there's
Wait,
there
what the
yeah.
hell were you playing? It says wait half a minute to let dry.
They had these
Paint
old,
watching game.
yeah, the paint watching. Essentially they give you a brush. They have a wall that's incomplete on the other.
You pay to do it.
There's ladders, and for 50 cents you can paint their wall.
The high score is the person who finishes the full wall.
Yeah. So it was cool. It's whatever.
Oh.
No, they have a Disney. They have an old Disney from the 1960s where it's this. It makes a Donald Duck or a Pinocchio, and it has this really cool injection mold, and you watch it happen.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And so and then it has to dry because it's heated up. So, yeah, it has to cool down and dry. So
They had those at the zoo when I was a kid. Yeah, you would get like that of one of the zoo animals, and you'd put 50 cents in or something like that. Yeah, and it's cool just to watch that stuff. That's cool. They still do that. Well, I guess they don't really.
Well, they
still
don't.
do that. But to have something like that around still that works.
In the back, they had this whole huge workstation that was just a fucking mess. Just a mess. Tools everywhere, parts all over the walls, not categorized or anything. I get it. I was like, well, this guy knows what he's doing. Like, he's working on all these things. He's obviously has the knowledge, but I was like, the cards on each machine that told where it was from and everything were handwritten. And I was like, oh, this could just be typed up really nice and put on a nice card. And like there could be a lot more done to make it look really, really nice and just little things that wouldn't cost a lot of money. But
Especially if they're like tricking people into painting the walls for them. So like, I mean, y'all just cutting corners everywhere.
There could be a game that says type up this info, and it could for 50 cents you could type up the cards for them.
It's like that Mario teaches a typing. It's a Mario teaches a typing experience. for $40 for
You're like, Mario teaches a typing
because that's how he says it in the game. And listen, and so yeah, you do the Mario teaches a typing experience. You charge $40, and people go in and because I don't know if you guys remember the game or not, but like there was a part where literally it just is like a sentence, and you'd have to type it out. Like it's already there, but you just have to type.
Yeah.
And so they do that for the things that you have to.
Like Mavis Beacon was the one I was in when I was in high school. That'd be awesome. I'd play a Mavis Beacon arcade game. Fuck yeah.
But then when you're done, it prints out, and then then they go change it out with the handwritten one. Yeah,
your high score will be your words per minute.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be awesome.
So it was really cool. I liked it. Kev, I think you'll like this as well. They speaking of pinball, the whole E3 thing happened, and I guess it flew under our radar. But the studio behind Pinball FX3 2 and 1, they are actually putting a pinball game into Dave and Buster's and eventually probably every arcade across the U.S. It is a giant pinball table. Like it's huge. It's like it's ginormous. Think of those. Think of the Space Invaders game.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? And the Pac-Man, the giant ones.
Right.
Kind of like that. There's screens everywhere on it. I mean, it looks pretty rad, and I'm very excited to try it out.
That's awesome.
Comes out. So yeah,
I'd like to try it, dude. I love what they've done so far.
Yeah. If you like what you hear so far, if you like our banter, if you like our chats and laughs,
Mhm.
then you can always check out more info on us on our website. You can, have links to the community, all of our community resources like Discord. We even have links to our Patreon over there if you want some more content. We put together a nice little daily show that we get out 95% of the time.
Oops.
So we've got a lot to offer over there. Go check it out. The 8bitgeek.com. That's THE, the number 8, BITGEEK dot COM.
What the shit is your issues?
I'm just trying to give people the most up to date, informative info that we got.
It was accurate. It was like one of those like hotlines you call when it was like 50 cents a minute, like, and then try to find out who's going to win between like the Raiders and the Bucks or something.
That reminds me that with this updated iOS, Siri is supposed to sound really natural. I'm going to test it out. Ready?
Yeah.
Do it.
What was the women's U.S. score today?
United States beat Spain 2-1 in the FIFA Women's World Cup round of 16 today.
Damn.
Did you notice the difference?
It was fast. It felt like it was faster. That was a very quick response. And then that sounded more conversational and less like headline, or like less.
That's like robotic.
Yeah.
This is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
All right,
way to go, women's team. Jesus
For
fucking
real.
Christ.
Man,
I was
that's too
killing it.
close for comfort, though.
way too close. It was 1-1 most of the game, and then they scored in like the 75th minute or some shit, and it was just like, God
Wow.
damn.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a game. That was a fucking game. This Women's World Cup has been a lot of fun. There's been some crazy shit the last few days. The Cameroon
Yeah, I
team was buck fucking wild the other day.
We were just talking about it on your stream last night.
Yeah,
It was nutso.
that was
What was it today? I was watching who played today. I think it was Canada and
Sweden.
I was watching Canada and Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah. Yep. I didn't know what the final was on that one. Who won?
Sweden.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry to
our
our
Canadian friends.
sorry to our Canadian friends. It was a good game. That was a really good game. They were
That
pretty
knocked
evenly matched.
Canada out, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing with the U.S. like trailing 1-1 because it was like had it gone 1-1, it would have gone to a penalty like shootout at the end where and that shit's fucking intense. They get 5 tries to get it in the goal, and whoever gets the most, man, that's fucking it. I guess there are probably 2. There isn't actually. I take that back. Doesn't necessarily get to that. They'll play 2 more halves, 2 15-minute halves. And then if no one scores and the score remains the same, then they go to the shootout. And fuck me, I hate that shit.
Because
Especially
it's so much stress.
it's so much stress, especially when it's your team on the line. If it's any other team, or they're just fun to watch because you're like, oh fuck yeah, like this is crazy. But when it's your team, you're like, I can't handle this. I'm gonna have a fucking heart attack. So I was like in my office, like, I can't fucking do this. I can't fucking do this. I'm gonna fucking die. If I could score you lovely women. Like,
Doug was about to go to a place that he normally goes
Yeah.
to describe things, but then realized he'd be putting down women.
Yeah. I love our women's team. They're the best in the world. Absolutely the best. But Sweden was not Sweden. No, who did we play today? Spain.
Spain.
And the thing was
Spain was favorites too, right? Like, because they had a very experienced team.
no. Spain's women's team has not been very good. They're not bad, but they're definitely, and that's the thing. Is like, I don't think anybody expects them to win the World Cup at all.
Damn.
Well, it's true. I mean, they're just okay. The men's team, on the other hand, that's the one that's like, watch out for them. But the women's team, yeah, they haven't really put the resources into their women's team, but they've started to recently, and so like, today was like proof of that. Like they made the U.S. run for their money, and it was.
Speaking of money,
fucking intense, man. And goddamn, like we've had such an easy go this whole time. Like,
speaking, you brought up money, man, and I just recently. So, for anyone who hasn't paid attention, I was never a soccer fan at all. Like, I think even the last World Cup, I was like, oh God,
no,
this is
last summer,
yeah.
for the men's World Cup.
No, was it last? No, probably not last summer because Colin was doing soccer. Maybe it was last summer. Yeah, I was like, I don't get it. Blah blah blah. And then Colin started with playing soccer, and I started. I had to learn the rules. I had to because try to help him out with getting better and stuff.
Yeah.
And I actually have enjoyed and gotten into the game. Like I really enjoy it. So I've been paying attention a lot to these to the. I think I like the women's teams more than the men.
Oh, the women's World Cup's probably my favorite. The men play, I think, like faster, and some would argue probably a little more technical, but like I don't know, the women are like not necessarily more savage, but like goddamn, they fucking kick ass. Like they fucking rule. I don't. They're a blast to watch, and I highly recommend if you've got like kids. Again, they're like playing soccer and stuff. You need to be making them watch this shit. Like, especially the men's, but also the women's, because like, just proof that like women are fucking awesome. Like at a
You know,
because like no one gives a shit about the WNBA, but like fucking women's soccer, that is where it's fucking at.
I looked at the the reason why I bring up getting into it and everything because I also got into I was like, man, I wonder how much these pros make at all these things. And boy, oh boy, was I shocked and very saddened by the news that I read. So the World Cup winner, last Women's World Cup was a $2 million prize. The last team in men's who placed last, $8 million. The winner of the men's was $32 million.
God damn.
$2 million
Mm-hmm.
to like I said, and that's coming from FIFA.
Yeah. Now FIFA's they're fucking bitches. You want to talk about like they fucking suck. FIFA's the worst. FIFA is the worst. But unfortunately, that's all there is. And so there's you can't really get it. It's kind of like the NFL where it's like, man, the NFL fucking sucks. Like they suck. But that's it. You don't really have another option. Where else? I mean, you can maybe go watch
XFL.
Yeah, with the
Yeah, you have
XFL.
XFL next season with fucking MAGA football.
Yeah, but like that's not an option. Though it
It's
sucks.
not really where the money's at.
And what sucks, especially
wonder,
for our women's team, is we won the last World Cup, but yeah, they make shit money, and like the National Women's Soccer League or whatever it's called, like they don't get paid anything, and their games take place at like high school soccer fields, like
That sucks.
because there's no money there, even though like our women's team is actually fucking good. Like they are the best team in the fucking world, and yet they still have to like pay for their own flights to these tournaments. They still have to like pay for their own hotel rooms for these tournaments because it's not being paid for. And yeah, and what's crazy is that you look at some of these other countries and stuff that are at the World Cup this year, and it's like, there's this new player for whatever team who's taking vacation from her job as a teacher or whatever, right? Like it's like, oh, this person's a nurse, but like they're here to play because
Yeah,
they have to fucking have a real job because they're not paid enough as a soccer player.
That sucks.
it sucks because that's the thing. Like men can go pro, and there's a whole system to support that. And it's like, okay, I can make a living off of this. Whereas a woman playing soccer is just like, oh, well, you're fucked.
Yeah, and our women's team brings in more like money, like for like the United States Soccer Federation than like the men's team does, like because they keep winning, like they keep fucking winning, and they're great and they're fucking awesome, and I love them. And
It's a shame.
it is. So World Cup, it's happening right now. I don't pay attention to like the MLS or the Premier League or any of that. Mostly because that's just a fucking commitment. Like, I don't have time to do that with baseball or football or anything else, so I don't have time to do it with soccer either. But the World Cup, World Cup and the Olympics is where I watch my soccer because I love watching country versus country. Like, to me, it's the best of the best. You know, like, you earned your spot there. I love fucking watching that. That shit is good shit.
And when they start adding knives and guns, it's going to be amazing.
Dude, I'm telling you, sometimes these women are vicious. It hasn't been so bad this year, but like I've watched the last Women's World Cup doing, people were getting their hair pulled, there were punches thrown. Like Abby Wambach got like a black eye because someone punched her in the face. It was fucking awesome.
Shit.
So I was talking about in the soccer chat. I was like, "Where's my violence? Like, where are these women throwing their
Meanwhile, you
punches?"
have the men flopping like LeBron James over here, like flopping over every.
I will
single
say
touch.
though, the last time the U.S. men's team played for the World Cup wasn't last summer; it was the summer before, or the one before, not the summer before. So whatever year that was, 2012, I guess. Jesus Christ. Clint Dempsey, who's from Texas, took like an elbow to the nose, and like broke his nose, and he was bleeding everywhere. And they took him off the field. They made him change his jersey because he had blood all over it. They put on a new one. They like plugged up his nose, and that motherfucker went right back out there, and just swollen and like clearly miserable, but still just kicking ass. And then the next game, I mean, 2 black eyes. Dude looked like he got jumped. I was like, fuck it, that's metal as shit, man. Like, the dude broke his fucking nose and then went and ran another 8 miles. Like, that's
That's
insane.
unbelievable, especially considering, as I say, it's all cardio. How the fuck do you do that without breathing through your nose, dude? That is insane.
Yeah. Someone got hit in the face today. It was awesome. I was like, yay, finally! It was during the U.S. game. I think she caught a cleat to the face.
I'll admit, there's nothing funnier than watching in kids play soccer and then someone getting kicked in the face with a ball. And then I'm like, oh, you're just like, what?
His voice.
Oh.
Kev, did you hear any of that?
What? Hello?
Hey,
I can't see you.
weird. I can see you're frozen.
Discord back?
Yeah, I think Discord's back.
I just changed regions to central. South went down.
South went down.
Man. And I thought all the silence was because I said that I liked to.
No,
I was laughing my ass off because you sounded like a just robotic prick. It was hilarious.
That's what I heard.
And you just kept going. And I'm looking over and Doug's just like,
I'm like,
Yeah, all I saw was this. And then also all I saw with Kevin was
that's about right. No, I was laughing my ass off.
they're asking the chat what happened. The Discord region that we were using just crashed apparently, so we lost like video and audio for a hot second, and it led to some ridiculousness. But we're back. We're good. We changed regions.
Yeah. Changed regions. Now we're in central.
and now we're gonna jump to talking about movies.
But hold on. I want to hear about these kids getting hit in the face with the ball.
Yeah, that's when you were going into the story.
I said that there's nothing funnier than watching that happen. Now, of course, at first I'm like, oh, I hope everyone's okay. But after you realize they're okay, there's nothing funnier than seeing a little kid wind up, smash the ball, and then point blank just wallop someone in the face with a soccer ball. And then they go flipping and rolling, and everyone's like, oh,
Like a Power Ranger?
yeah, oh yes. And then and it's happened like multiple times in a row in one of the games I watched, and I just have to cover my mouth because I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, yeah, you need to be making Colin watch these World Cup stuff. This is just good shit. But anyways,
stuff.
Should get to the
All right.
news.
Let's get to the box office first, where Toy Story, where a movie can make 120 million in opening weekend and still be considered a failure.
Is it really?
Their expectations were a lot higher.
Really?
Yeah, but
People broke, man. That end game.
Yeah, no shit.
It's still awesome. Like 120 million is nothing to gawk at.
Not
Yeah,
at all,
they're getting a sequel.
yeah. Hey, it's gonna get a sequel
Yeah, in
No,
6
this
years
has
they're gonna
gotta
have.
be it.
No, in 6 years they're gonna have another sequel.
as long as
No.
everyone's still alive.
Well, now
Yeah.
it may not follow Woody and Buzz, but they'll keep making them.
The Toy Story verse.
Mm-hmm.
I really tried to make it happen to watch it. Here's one of the things. Toy Story 4 box office. Did the franchise fatigue impact its debut?
Oh my god.
I don't know. So they were globally it made 238 million. A record for an animated film.
Yeah, it's a failure. That's like the South Park people, right? It's the same people, but now they're bitching that 230 million is a fucking failure in your first fucking weekend.
Because everything has to be Endgame now.
I know. We were talking about that at work the other day about how, like, they're expecting, Avengers numbers for Solo. And it's like, they spent 10 fucking years making this movie. Like, Solo didn't. Like, how the fuck do you expect, how can you reasonably expect those numbers for that? Like, you can't, that's stupid. People are fucking invested in Avengers. Solo is, you're giving us a new Solo, it's a new Star Wars, it's a whole bunch of new. I'm sure if I went back to the original Iron Man movie, like, I'm sure it made over $300 million, I guess, but at the same time, like, it did not make $1 billion worldwide.
Yeah, they've set unrealistic expectations for a lot of different movies.
So the expectation was about 140 million. And
I
it
would
got
say
100.
that's pretty
Well,
close to the pin.
then you know who to blame. Chucky, because he came out this weekend and made 14.1 million.
Yeah.
It's the pie.
Iron Man domestically made 318 million.
So the same amount that Solo did. Solo's a failure. Fuck off. God damn it. And now we're not going to fucking a Solo sequel, what we fucking deserve. But Iron Man got 2 sequels that no one fucking asked for. Those movies sucked.
Especially 2.
God damn it.
Preach on.
They didn't suck.
They sucked, Jared.
2 suck.
They were fine.
2 sucked. 2
They were
furious.
fine.
2 was like Thor 1 and Thor Black Earth or whatever the fuck that was. Dark World bad.
Careful now.
No. Both of those movies, all 3 of those movies were awful. Those are the worst ones in the Marvel series.
You're the worst one of the Marvel series.
So yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, Child's Play 14 million. That's ugh.
Yeah, I mean, here's the problem. Again, it's not good, apparently.
Hey, it's actually tomato fresh.
Last I saw it was in the 50s.
That's the Metacritic from Metascore, but on Rotten Tomato, it's at 60%.
Are they bombing it, Metacritic?
No,
get
I think
outta here.
Metacritic has because Rotten Tomato now you can only submit a review if you actually saw the movie, right? You have to like submit your ticket and some shit.
Oh fuck! It is up to 62%. Yesterday, literally, I looked because I saw a headline that was like Child's Play certified fresh or whatever, and I was like, "Fuck off!" No, it's not. And it was at like 48%. And I was like, "Okay, y'all fucking tripping." But no, it's at 62% right now.
And that's
So
the
still
audience
not certified fresh, but that's still like good-ish.
So, yeah.
It's good-ish. Ain't bad.
Good-ish.
Yeah, 62 tells me it's just an all right movie. But that's the thing is, like, especially me as a huge Chucky fan, you take away Charles Lee Ray.
You take away Chucky.
You take away Chucky. His name isn't Chucky otherwise. Charles Lee Ray didn't land in a doll named Chucky.
Yeah, he's just a good guy.
He was just a good guy doll. And, well, they all had their own individual names. But like
Well, you know
the
what-
chances of him
what-
landing in one whose name is Chucky is stupid. But like he changed it because he's a fucking psychopath.
You know what the plot was in this? I didn't know what this was, but it's just a switch that someone at the manufacturer switched on to evil mode.
That's like that episode of The Simpsons, the Treehouse of Horrors, where they had the monkey or whatever. It's like, oh, you just had to flick the switch. Oh, there he goes. He's happy now.
And I could be wrong, but that's what I read. That's what I read in an article. It was just like, oh, somebody just turned on naughty mode. Naughty boy.
I hope it's not that simple. I mean, because the idea of it being more like some sort of cyber attack, because he's supposed to be connected to the cloud and he's connected to all of your, like, you know, Google Home sort of stuff, even though it's not Google in the movie, but, you know, everything, whether it be your thermostat or your webcams or your home surveillance or your blender or, you know, whatever, right? Like,
I think he has access to that just from like being hooked up to the Wi-Fi.
well,
right?
and so I think like some sort of like cyber attack sort of thing, like if that had been what it was, or, you know, like something happened and yeah, it was he was corrupted that way, which I think is kind of what I had heard the plot was. Like that makes more sense, but like just still, you take away Charles Lee Ray, you take away the, you know, the serial killer who derives joy from murdering people, then it's, I mean, I've even seen some people say like, oh, you actually kind of feel bad for the doll because he doesn't know any better. I don't want to feel bad for the doll. It's a fucking murder doll.
Let's see. I'm trying to read right now. Oh yeah, here goes. Ready? The movie promptly kicks off with a disgruntled sweatshop employee expertly recoding a buddy doll to remove its violence inhibitors. That is the plot.
That is so fucking dumb.
Doug's just staring like,
That is so fucking dumb. Why the fuck is there anger inhibitors in a goddamn doll in the first
yeah,
place?
right. Is there like a subplot where like these used to be like, they're like, oh man, we made this AI program just to make little to make robot soldiers, and then the UN was like, no, and that person was like, cool, hey toy company, I'm gonna sell you this AI. Look,
disable this violent.
let me just
inhibitor.
disable this real quick because I'm too lazy to recode the damn thing.
here's the
That
thing.
story would make way more sense.
It would.
Really,
But
that
this
would.
right here says Chucky, or the Buddy, is a smart home appliance called the Buddy System, designed to unite the best qualities of Alexa and Siri with a walking, talking doll companion for the whole family. Which then a sweatshop worker was like, I'm mad, and recodes them.
Fuck you, buddy.
Jeffrey says, well, that sounds like most programmers I know. Too lazy to remove code. Yeah, well, you just comment it out. You just you leave it in there. It's still there, but you just comment it out. You just,
Somebody just deleted a comma, that's all.
well, not a comment. It'd be too forward, whatever they're called.
Dash.
Yeah, whatever, forward, whatever. Yeah, dashes, slash. Thank you. I was like, I'll get there. I'm going to take away these forward slashes and turn them into a slasher. Ooh, pun city.
Damn, that's
God
good,
damn it.
Doug. That's real good. Random in the chat said, have you heard a rumor of Endgame being re-released? Well, yes, sir. It's not just a rumor. It's actually happening. It's confirmed that Avengers Endgame is returning to theaters this weekend with deleted scenes and more. But it's going to be at the end of the movie, so you could essentially... Listen, you don't have to go see this movie if you just want it to beat Avatar. You just buy a ticket and then help it. It needs $20 million to do so, or 40. I think 40.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
It needs 20 or 40. I think it's 40 million to beat Avatar and become number one globally, the number one movie of all time. Make it happen. Let's make it happen. Let's just do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Please.
I think that it's more of an epic thing to remember than fucking Avatar.
Yeah, it needs 40. Right now, Endgame is at 2.743 billion, and Avatar is at 2.788.
Ah.
So
Well, I mean,
It's
it'll
not a
pass
bad
it.
weekend.
that's a big task. Worldwide, I think you could do it. I don't know if you can get 40 million domestically off of Endgame.
I mean, they're saying like 20 extra minutes of shit or something like that. Like,
No, I think it was only 6 minutes.
oh, I thought it was more than that.
Yeah,
Anywho,
it doesn't say in this story, but
still,
I would.
no, I think they'll do it.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. So,
Yeah. Would you guys go see it again?
yeah, I only saw it once.
Doug, how many times have you seen it?
Only once. Yeah.
Okay, I've seen it twice. So
I mean, maybe, but the problem is like, so the new runtime's on 3 hours and 8 minutes instead of 3 hours and 1 minute. So okay, so 7 minutes. I don't
More
know.
credits.
I might go see. Yeah, it's an end credit scene. I don't know. It's tough because like Spider-Man comes out in, like next week, July 3rd. So I don't know. Probably won't go see it before then. I don't know. I don't know how much I care.
I wonder if
Especially-
there's going to be a lot of Endgame Spider-Man marathons going on, like the night Spider-Man comes out.
Yeah, they'll probably do it.
No, just to refresh everyone.
So, listen, I know how much you two love Adam Sandler. Every time that there's a new Adam Sandler movie on Netflix, you both just jump at the opportunity to watch it first. In fact, most of the time, you're the first critics on Rotten Tomato to rate Adam Sandler movies.
Oh yeah, certified fresh.
Screen cap that, someone.
Someone, yeah.
But
Yeah.
Adam Sandler's murder mystery has broken Netflix's viewing records.
What?
He's got an audience, huh?
Still?
Big time.
Have you seen
There were-
the trailer for it? It looks fun. I hate
It does look fun.
I hate that I'm saying that. It looks fun.
But whenever he hooks up with what's her nuts?
Aniston?
Jennifer Aniston. It's always gold.
Wait, what else has he done with Jennifer Aniston?
He's done that one. He did that movie where he went on a vacation with her. And
That was Vacation Mystery. Just kidding.
it's just basically everything they just got mystery.
I think this is like their third movie together. Let me look. Even in Google, it says what they. Okay, so they did Murder Mystery. Just Go With It, I think. Just Go With It was another one. Yeah, Just Go With It. Had those two with it. And I guess they only did two.
Ah, I think you're thinking of Drew Barrymore because they've done a bunch together.
Oh, yeah, because they did 50 First Dates and then they did Blended.
And then they did Wedding Singer.
Oh, yeah.
Some other ones too, yeah.
So there's that. Over 30 million unique accounts watched it
That's crazy.
in the first
Wow.
3 days.
Yeah, I was seeing headlines that were saying that like had it been a theatrical release, it would have made like $120 million. Thank God, I guess it didn't, because Toy Story would be like, fuck,
Yeah.
fuck.
Sandler?
Yeah, Sandler, are you fucking kidding me? Someone gets Sandler. Someone gets Sandler for Toy Story 5. God damn it! He'll play a fucking dreidel. I don't give a shit.
Him and Keanu are the new stars of Toy Story 5.
Oh man.
The original Jaws shark has been fully restored for the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. Have you guys?
That's cool.
Do you know about this Academy Museum of Motion Pictures?
I do not.
Okay, so essentially George Lucas.
Nope.
I want to say it's George Lucas came together and put this. He wanted a giant museum for all things movies, right? Am I wrong on that?
No,
Steven Spielberg?
no, you're not wrong on that. But this is not George Lucas's museum.
This is not. Which one is George Lucas's museum?
His is the Lucas Museum of Art and Film, or something like that. Or no, the Lucasfilm of Narrative Art.
Okay. But the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures is a giant building that they're putting up, right?
Yeah. They're both under construction, which is just like. And if you look at the pictures of the reason I got confused when we were talking about this earlier in the week was that like the Lucas Museum. I'm sure if you guys have seen the photos that were released a year or two ago of the concept art, it looks like a giant fucking spaceship. And like this building has this like crazy ass like giant dome looking, like all glass, sort of spaceship looking thing. So I saw that and I was like, oh shit, they're actually fucking building this thing. But it wasn't that. That wasn't the Lucas one. It was the Academy. But like, this place looks sick. Like this, I want to visit this. This looks dope.
There is that whole dome. I think they were doing something really special with that dome. It will house a ton of cool props and movie memorabilia and all that stuff. And they just restored the bad boy. What was his name? Bruce.
Bruce.
Yeah,
He
Bruce.
said the shark is nicknamed Bruce.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's crazy.
the team that restored it was the team Greg Nicotero, who some of you may know as the costume designer from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Greg Nicotero is he's a cool guy. I met him at Star Wars Celebration in 2015.
Oh yeah, I remember that. What, on like an elevator or something, or
No.
was he like sitting? In
Yeah,
front of
yeah.
everybody?
I meet all my famous people on elevators.
Yeah, then
No,
you bro hugging it in front of everybody.
no. This one, Ed and I were walking around the showroom floor. It was like Sunday. It was like the last day of the convention, maybe Saturday or Sunday, and we walked by him, and I recognized him because at the time I was heavily watching The Walking Dead, so I knew who he was without a doubt. So we walked by, and I was like, Ed, it's Greg Nicotero. And he was like, who? And I was like, the dude from Walking Dead. And he saw me. He's like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. Because we also watched The Talking Dead, the after show that
Oh yeah, yeah.
Chris Hardwick would do, and he was on a number of times. Because he started as like their costume department and special effects, and then I think he's like a showrunner now. Like he's one of the
Nice.
he's a big shot in the show. And so we went up and we got photos with him and stuff, and I was just like, like
How'd you approach that one?
that one. It was him and his son, and they were stopped at a booth or whatever, and they're talking to people, and I got lucky.
Pushed the kid out of the way and was like, "I got things to do." Just
No,
move.
and his son was like looking at stuff, and he was kind of just looking around. You could tell he like wasn't like looking at the stuff or whatever. And so I was like, I just approached him. Was just like, "Hi, Mr. Nicotero. I'm a huge fan of your work. Do you mind if I get a photo with you?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, man, no problem." And so it was just like, I was like, "Have you been here the whole weekend, or you guys just come today?" And he's like, "Oh, me and my kid just came today. We just happened to be in LA for some stuff." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you working on anything special?" And he was like, "Nah, probably nothing you've heard of." And like, and so that was pretty much it. But we got photos with him and stuff. And
Oh, I think you told this story before.
Yeah.
Didn't it end up being something that you do know of, and you were like, I knew
yeah,
what he was
the Walking Dead. Yeah, he was like, "Oh yeah, me and my kid just flew in today from Atlanta." And I was like, "Oh yeah, what are you working on?" And he was like, probably nothing you've ever heard of." It was like, yeah,
Okay.
the one show you film in Atlanta. Yeah.
Batman is in the news.
Oh yeah.
Batman is going to receive a Hollywood Walk of Fame star.
Good on him. It's only been, Bruce Wayne, Batman.
It's Bruce Wayne, Batman. He's finally going to join his parents in the alley.
Whoa.
I was thinking the same thing. It's just like, oh,
Press F to pay respects. Because I made you do that in one of the games. Yeah, which I didn't realize. I was reading it because I also was like, okay, are they talking about a specific person or?
that's what I was thinking.
No, but it's Batman, and it was like Batman joins other fictional characters on the Walk of Fame, like The Simpsons and Bugs Bunny, and someone else. I forget who. But yeah, so I guess there's fictional characters as well.
And there's really good news out of this too. The committee, the Boardwalk Committee, has decided to take out Donald Trump's star.
Probably because they're tired of replacing it. Like, God damn it! Like, why is this here? He's not a fucking movie star. And then yeah, it's like, oh, God, we have to replace that thing again. These things are so fucking expensive. People keep shitting on them or breaking them with sledgehammers. No time for this.
Let's get rid of it.
Just get rid of it. A couple other people are getting them also. Honorees include Julia Roberts, Spike Lee, I always say this guy's name wrong. Mahershala Ali, Chris Hemsworth, Mahershala Ali, Chris Hemsworth, and more.
Nice.
So,
Go
dope.
everyone.
Way to go, Batman! You did it. You can retire now. Don't retire.
Hunger Games is back in the news because when you have a franchise that makes a ton of money, you keep milking it.
I think
There's
we
a
talked
new-
about this last week, but not this
We
story specifically.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. It was kind of a rumor. I guess this is more of the official.
Yeah, this is official. There is a prequel movie officially in the works at Lionsgate based on the new upcoming book.
Yeah, we talked about the new book last week, I believe.
Mhm.
And
We did. It takes place 64 years earlier.
maybe
on
you
the
may have been
war.
here too for that, Jerk. Or were you in the chat? Ooh.
Yeah, you was in the chat.
You
for that.
remember you were involved in the conversation, but I feel like you were in the chat. But yeah,
On the morning of the 10th annual games.
yeah.
This doesn't make much sense to me to go to the 10th game. I want to see what transpired to create the games. I wanted them to, if they were going to do this, I thought it'd be more interesting to go back to the first game and see, like, hey, what how did this war create this, and how did we end up with it, and actually see the first ones take place. I don't know. We already know that there's a ton of them. And now we're gonna
Yeah, 100% agree. And I think it's hilarious that like the book's not out yet, and Lionsgate are like, yes, yes, we'll get Jennifer Lawrence to do it again. More. Also,
Wait, more.
I guess the interesting thing to think about though is that this is it's 10 years, so it's 10 years later. So in comparison to where we are, some 74 plus years after whatever happened to lead us there's actually people that will remember what happened, and so it will be curious to see the it's been 10 years, and that sort of anger and possible unrest. But the problem is, it's well, what's gonna happen. They ain't doing shit because it took them another 64 years to actually fucking do something about it. So
Yeah. So it's just gonna be a fucking bashing movie. They're just gonna get their asses whipped the whole time.
yeah. This literally will be what's the fucking name of that movie? Oh my god, with the Japanese kids in the high school, and they all
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. Yeah, duh. Yeah,
This was a fucking rip off of Battle Royale.
Yeah.
I mean, Battle Royale came out in 2000, and the the Japanese anime that it was based off of came out even obviously before that. So
yeah.
I'm trying to think of what they call that. But,
Battle Royale also. Just kidding, but I mean, that's essentially what we're going to be watching is just the American Battle Royale that is eventually 64 years later going to lead to the Hunger Games. It's just stupid. I'm over it. I'm over it. Over it.
Amen.
But you keep making those Star Wars movies. I know you're not involved in that, but you keep making those. not over that.
I can't wait to see how Jennifer Lawrence comes back.
Yeah, seriously.
It's 64 years earlier.
The same cast.
It's a clone. They've been clones this entire time.
Oh,
Every
God.
single one. That's maybe.
Maybe that actually might make an interesting
there you
story.
go. Mark this episode 324. We fucking ruined Hunger Games.
We did it again. We came up with another storyline. Toys R Us, guys, is going to come back. It's rumored that we could get 6 stores and wait for it, a website.
Ooh.
Huh?
Well,
So
where's the 6 stores going to be?
probably in New York, Los Angeles, anywhere that
They can afford that.
these
Where,
big cities.
where was an FAO Schwartz at? We'll just move right into their old building.
Well, they're going to do smaller stores, and not and
Where are all them Think Geek stores at in the malls? We'll take those.
No shit. Here we go.
yep.
We better get to them before Spencer's does.
Toys R Us brand. The
Just
name
imagining
still
the Spencer's downstairs looking up at the Think Geek up top, going oh,
Okay.
you dirt. Oh, I'm coming for your space. The second you're out of there, you're mine.
How is
Turf
Spencer's
Wars.
still around? How is Spencer's Gift still around? They've been around forever, and they never seem to die
Because
off.
they stay on top of their dank meme games, so all their fucking the parents drop their kids off at that shop.
Also, yeah,
Kids pick up a
when
bunch of
you're
fucking dank ass shirts.
when you're
and
17 and you were just introduced to weed for the first time, where else are you gonna get those dank ass glow in the dark black light posters from, man?
Yeah, man, you gotta let everyone know that you listen to Bob Marley
Yeah,
and
that you were
Jimi Hendrix.
You were 420 cool.
I guess that
You have to have an alien necklace at some point.
Yeah.
I guess somebody's got to sell the lava lamps.
Yeah, seriously. Or those fucking lamps that you touch and the electricity, the static, like the electricity goes out
Yeah.
all over.
Yeah.
Strobe
All that
lights.
stupid shit.
Dildos. Fucking those like anime flags that you hang up.
The pillowcase.
Handcuffs. Oh yeah, the waifu pillows. Yeah, those. Like weird bondage belts. Dildos.
It's weird that they sell like some sex toys, but not like the full-on dildos.
Right. And then they'll even have like the weird, like the dice, like the dicing kissing game or whatever. Then they'll have like the weird like lubes and stuff, and then dildos and
It does raise the question though, with in the age of the internet and things like Amazon, why does this store still exist?
Exactly.
Like,
like it's just the place their parents drop off their kids for like a half an hour while they get their real shopping
It's
done.
so strange because you walk in and you're like, "Oh, cool, video games," and then you go 5 feet and you're like, "Okay, 420 and beer," and then you walk 5 more steps and you're like, "Oh, sex toys."
It just gets real. Yeah, it just ages.
well, then you get to the back and it's all party stuff. It's like black lights and strobe lights and disco balls and dildos. And the latex, like not latex, well maybe,
The gimp.
but the gimp suit, but
He's
also
sleeping. No, it's the gimp. Actually, him.
Yeah.
He's sleeping in a case in the
no,
back.
but large like spools of like that plastic wrap stuff in case you need a kill room or some shit. Like it's all it's all there.
Yeah, dude, you've got everything you need at Spencer's. They should just say that. Everything you need, including dildos.
5. We have a counter going, by the way. How many times do you say dildos?
Oh,
Nope, that's just
No.
it's just you. That's the first time I've said that word ever.
I've said my piece.
DC is going to retire a lot of their labels, guys. Like, it's amazing. Vertigo is going to go bye-bye.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Well,
Zoom?
not the comics, just the name.
That's the names.
They're gonna
Yeah,
try
they're
and
gonna bring
go ahead.
everything in-house.
Yep.
Sorry.
Everything because it used to be like DC Vertigo and DC Black Label, and blah blah blah, and it's all just gonna become DC Kids, DC, and then I guess DC Black Label actually will still be, but that will be for the comics for people over the age of 17, so the more like adult
Go on.
stuff.
That used to be what Vertigo was. I mean, like when they had like Sandman, like Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, and that's where Vertigo will be moved to DC Black Label.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I get it because it is kind of confusing when you're like, oh, that's a DC title. No, it's not. It's Vertigo. Okay, motherfucker, it's the same fucking thing. Well, why is it not called that? I don't know.
Well, let me tell you.
Because DC bought Vertigo. I don't. How hard is this to understand? Sorry.
Well, it's about as hard as you trying to figure out how the C-do works.
Oh.
I don't know why Randall Savage is attacking me.
I know that's.
I'm not the one who threw my wife off the back of a Sea-Doo. Listen,
but you said Vertigo was DC, and it's not.
oh, Jesus.
Let's get some gaming news. Oh God, EA. Oh, EA. This is amazing. So EA had to stand in front of government, not in the U.S. Where was it?
This is in
UK.
England.
England. in the
United
UK.
Kingdom's Digital Culture, Media, and Sports Committee.
There you go.
And then they had to sit there and try to explain loot boxes, which EA's best defense was to say, "Hey, they're not loot boxes, guys. We don't see them as loot boxes. They are what was the name? What they say they were?
Okay,
Surprise mechanics."
Yeah. So yeah, that's Kerry Hopkins quoting that, saying, "Well, first, we don't call them loot boxes. We looked at them as surprise mechanics, quote unquote." It's so fucking stupid.
It has caused a shitstorm on the internet.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my
wonderful.
god! Oh my god! This whole fucking quote. Hold on. If you go to a store that sells a lot of toys and you do a search for surprise toys, what you'll find is that this is something that people enjoy. They enjoy surprises. It's actually quite ethical and quite fun and enjoyable to people. Bitch, who? When I pay 25 cents to get some little thing out of a little turn, it's 25 cents, not $15 for a fucking loot box.
Yeah. Well, that and now you know what kids like these days with the little mystery boxes. Those
Yeah,
little
I
guys
hate
who
those
buy
things
for,
too.
$3.99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over in the chat, Chudfu says it's not murder; it's a surprise life ending.
There was
Fuck,
another
that's actually
one.
pretty good.
There was another one that Reddit he made huge headlines, and they're like, "It's not piracy. It's they said, oh fuck, I forgot it. Damn it! Now I can't use it as the punchline. Sorry, guys.
Oh,
What I'm glad to see is that when this originally like dropped, a lot of the articles and stuff were using Battlefront 2 as like the image for it, because that is kind of what broke the camel's back was Battlefront 2's launch. But they have
yeah.
quickly rectified that. Like there is no loot box system anymore. What you see is what you get. There is none of that. But I do like that in this article they're using Anthem, because Anthem does kind of have like a loot box system going on.
Yeah. And
Well,
so
the big thing, the reason it came under scrutiny in Europe or in the UK was because of FIFA, because FIFA was having that loot box system, and that's one of their biggest selling games out in Europe. So that's why it came under
everyone
scrutiny.
loves these packs. They
So
just
it wasn't so much about the other stuff.
It's bullshit.
Yep.
So, esports is returning to the X Games, guys. I didn't know if you knew that they took a couple years off, but
I didn't know
ESPN has announced that Apex Legends will be the star of this year's show.
Ooh.
And it will be there's 150,000 on the line. 20 teams are invited, and you can watch it on the X Games because it's an extreme sport.
Today I learned that the X Games is still going.
All right.
I thought that was something that died out with the PS2 era.
I thought it was something that died out with PAX Sun.
Yeah. Oh, bro, let me tell you, bro.
PacSun is owned by Spencer's Gifts.
Is it? Probably.
Oh God, that's where they really. If you want to go bro out, you got to go to PAX Sun. You want to get kinky though, you go to Spencer.
PAX Sun. That's gonna be like nobody. That shit closed.
That shit.
Oh, gross. Okay. Sorry. In 2012, PacSun collaborated with sisters Kendall and Kylie Jenner to produce their own fashion line.
Gross. You lost cred.
You lost cred.
You lost your
PacSun.
cred. Yeah. They
Bro, do you even
PacSun
drink Monster anymore?
in 2018. PacSun merged with Eddie Bauer.
Oh wow, really?
That's a random ass merge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Cleaning up your act.
That's like on the fucking other spectrum, on the other end of it. You have like mountain climbing, outdoorsy, and then surf guys. What's up?
Surf and skate.
I wonder how that merge happened. Like the offices came together one day, and everyone's like in these preppy hiking clothes. The other ones are like in shorts and shit. They're like, all right, so what are we supposed to do here?
Here's the sitch, bruh.
Yo, check out my sweet Kylie Jenner Vans. Oh man,
God.
got nothing on my Kendall Jenner hiking boots.
Oh.
God, they own so much. Okay, so the company that owns them is Golden Gate Capital. That's the people who owns all of them.
What's crazy is all these company are owned by these venture capitalists. Like
Because they swoop in when a company's in trouble and they sink their teeth into them and then they just suck them dry. And then the company goes bankrupt and venture's like, well, on to the next.
Whoops. Now listen. Okay, so they own Express, the clothing store. They own Romano's Macaroni Grill restaurant chain. They own
Guitar Center.
Talbot's. They own California Pizza Kitchen.
Are you kidding me?
No, they own Red Lobster.
Oh no. Cheddar biscuits.
You die for me.
They own Angus Chemical Company and its Sterling plant from Dow Chemical.
That sounds like a fucking shell corp.
They own the Bob Evans restaurants.
Oh, Bob Evans. Oof.
They closed all of them over here.
Jesus Christ, that's so much stuff. Sorry. Today I learned.
Let's. I'm going to skip the next two. Get right to the good stuff. Borderlands 3. It's been released that the campaign will be 35 hours long.
I could dig that.
I could
Which is-
totally dig that.
Awesome. And so if you split that up with side quests and everything, I'm guessing that's just the main campaign. So side quests and everything, I'm guessing you're going to get at least 60 hours out of this main
Yeah.
story.
Even-
Easily, that's before DLC.
Yeah, and again, just 35 for a main campaign, like that
a lot.
immediately is worth the cost of the game. Are you kidding me? Because if I'm paying essentially $2 an hour, like per story or whatever, okay, no,
Mm-hmm. Did you
And
guys
that's
get a
not
chance?
even, like, you're not even accounting for all the debauchery that you have just in the world itself. Like just the weird glitches that you'll get messed up with, the funny moments that you'll spend just shooting a gun, like a hamburger gun.
spoilers.
Or grinding multiple characters. you
Yeah,
know, and stuff like that.
seriously, just
I was
yes.
gonna say, did you guys play the new DLC, the free DLC for 2?
No, I've downloaded it.
I've heard that it's a couple hours long.
It's pretty good. Yeah, no, a
but
couple.
really
We put in a
good.
lot. We put in about 4 to 5 hours on it because we were doing all the side mission stuff too. And there's still, yeah, we finished it. There's still something you have to do. Like, remember at the end of Borderlands 2, there was like a huge, like, big enemy that you had to be like super leveled for. There's one for that DLC as well, if you want to go achievement hunting. So,
Very
but it's
cool.
fun. I liked it. It was a great add-on, and it was a great lead into what.
Yeah, they didn't even need to do that, and they did it, and that's what makes it fantastic.
Yeah, it was cool.
I'm very excited for Borderlands 3. I hope that I have the way that our lives have gone with everything, how busy everyone is, and I just hope that I have a friend to play it with, and to finish it with. It's really tough to get us in the same room together.
Yeah,
So
not even in the same room, just in the same time frame.
Well,
Together.
the same chat room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in chat room. Yeah.
so that's it. That's all I got. That's it for the show this week.
Yeah.
I hope that everybody enjoyed it. I'm glad to be back. I missed you fools.
Missed you too, buddy.
And here's to 300 more before I take another vacation.
Yeah, right. And the rate you're going will be like 330 when you take the next vacation.
Oh, you're not far off. We're looking to take a weekend to Universal Orlando in October.
Wow, sounds nice.
So
Must be.
must be. Listen, when you got rich parents, you know. I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking.
I do have rich parents.
That live in a castle on a hill. That's you, Doug.
It's a moat.
They've got a pool in the backyard that would make Michael Jackson blush. Because well, I mean, if he were still alive, you know, because he had a big pool. But Doug's parents' pool is bigger.
I've never seen Michael Jackson's pool, or Doug's, I guess.
Did Michael Jackson actually have a pool?
I would assume with the wealth the man has acquired over the years that he was alive, he would have at least an inflatable pool at some point.
The first thing that comes up,
Oh,
Michael Jackson constantly gets pushed in the swimming pool.
Random hero in the chat said a kiddie pool. To
Oh.
which Kevin and I went,
Oh,
no.
Oh,
No.
no. Too soon.
No. Well, I mean, probably not too soon. I mean, he's dead. And
stay tuned. Ask a question.
oh yeah,
The after party is the hotel party with the hotel lobby and the
What?
got thing. And just hit. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Doug.
I'm Kevin.
Lots of love, hugs, and all that bullshit.